severely hit during the pandemic and how they were able to sustain by adoption of technology. So everything seems to be working fine. Just give
Sorry,
me.
if I can just interrupt you, Adnan, the chat box is not working currently.
Yeah, I'll just enable it.
Sure.
Give me a couple of seconds. Yeah, so chat is enabled now. And as I was mentioning earlier, that these virtual events are amazing networking opportunities. And trust me, there had been instances where we have seen that members were able to find buyers and suppliers in these networking sessions only. So use this opportunity. And as I'm suggesting everyone that you should network and share details with everyone. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just chatting to everyone. Firstly, my contact details. And in addition to that, we have also created a exclusive WhatsApp group. So I'm also sharing the link of that WhatsApp group so you can join the WhatsApp group. And in future, after this session, if you have any questions or queries, me and my team will be available there. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions and queries. All right, so you can see that is now in the chat. And in today's session, my colleague Malvika is also here, so she'll help us in answering your questions and queries. So hello, welcome everyone. And now I said I'll be sharing with you two things. So one is I've already shared my contact details. So firstly, start networking. Firstly, start sharing your details with other business owner. You might be able to find a buyer or supplier in this session. The second thing is that in the chat, I have shared the link of a exclusive WhatsApp group, so which we have created for this webinar only. And I'll request and suggest everyone that you should join that WhatsApp group. The objective of that WhatsApp group is to help you get answers to your queries. So obviously we'll try our best to answer all your questions and queries. But many times I have come across members who had questions, and then after the session or the email or over the phone, they have tried to reach out to us. So we had attempted to make it more convenient this time while creating a WhatsApp group. So you can join that group. Me and my team members are there in that WhatsApp group, and we'll try to answer all your questions and query. Or if there is anything that you would need help or assistance on. All right, so that was the first thing. Second, while we are waiting for other members to join in, and I can see the count is increasing very rapidly. So as we are waiting for other members to join, I just thought of sharing a story, in fact, a real life story of a business that was severely hit during the pandemic, and they were into the travel and hospitality business, and they are in fact one of the largest operator in this space. And prior to pandemic, obviously their business was booming, but as lockdown started, their bookings, almost 80 to 90% of their bookings canceled overnight. And they had to sustain, obviously, like any other business, they had to do cost cuttings and all the other measures. But one thing that helped them survive and in fact flourish was adoption of digital. So the company is Airbnb, and what they did, because physical travel was not possible, but what they were offering was experiences. So they were experiences where people are meeting a expert and they are sharing their suggestions or their life story, etc., etc. So they digitized that, they made it digital, and they saw a huge adoption of those experiences. Although people were locked in different places, but they wanted to connect, they wanted to interact, and they want to experience that virtually. And that has now grown into or morphed into a profitable, not only profitable, but a very steadily growing arm for Airbnb. So that's how, that's a small story. Just I thought of sharing how adopting or leveraging digital can help a business not only ride out rough times, but also to sustain and grow in these kind of difficult times. So I think everyone has option to chat because I can see there are few chats only. So I'll request everyone start sharing your details, start networking, because this is also a networking opportunity. If we just imagine if we were meeting physically, then we would have obviously shared our cards and exchanged information about what my business is, from where I am, and what product or services do I offer, right? But this is where we are meeting virtually. So that's where use this virtual option. You have the chat option available, use that. Now, before starting the webinar, which I'll be doing immediately, I just thought of sharing, if you have a question, if you have a query, and I'm certain you will have. So how can you share that question? So there is a Q&A tab in the Zoom bar that you can see. So you can use that to share your question. I'll not encourage, or I'll not suggest that you share your question in the Q&A section, in the chat section, sorry. So you should share your question in Q&A, not in the chat section. Why not? Because chat typically has a lot of volume, and that's where your question might get missed out. So that's where it will be better that you share your question in the Q&A section. All right, so let's get started. In the next few seconds, you'll start seeing a different screen. Just give me a quick second. So let's start. Sorry. So firstly, my intro. So who I am, many of you might be knowing me personally. Just a quick introduction about myself. So my name is Adnan. I'm Director SME E-commerce growth at Globallinker, and my focus area are the Globallinker's e-commerce or digital enablement platform called Linker.store, and other strategic initiatives in India and Philippines. In addition to that, I regularly conduct training sessions and webinars about digitization and adoption of technology to grow your business digitally. And that's where I've conducted more than 350 sessions in India and Philippines and trained more than 11,000 business owners over the past 3-4 years. So this is a quick introduction about myself. Now moving on to what are the topics that we are going to discuss in today's session. So in today's session, we'll firstly try to understand why B2B business needs digital to grow. And then we'll understand the difference between an informative website and a digital catalog, and why it is better to have a digital catalog as compared to just having a informative website. Then how to create a digital catalog. That's where we will not be going very technical. I'll just be sharing with you broader points, and then if required of detailed session, we can definitely have another session, or we can have one-on-one session as well. Next is how to blend human and digital experience. And lastly, we'll have an open session. But before the open discussion session, where I will be answering your questions, I'll also be sharing few bonus tips in today's session. So stay tuned for that. Let's proceed ahead, and let's understand the first topic that we have on our discussion, on our agenda today, and that is, do B2B businesses need digital to grow, and why they do need that? So this is where, again, I'll start with a historical background, a story. Again, a very inspiring one, and which led to the development of one of the largest digital platform that exists in the world today. So the year was 1995, and internet was a thing at that time. It was a new thing, and there was an individual who was in US, and one of his friend introduced him to computer and internet, and that person was firstly a little scared. I might damage this computer, and they are very, very expensive. But the friend encouraged that, why don't you try, and why don't you try to search out certain things? So he searched out for beer, and that's where he saw a couple of options, but there was no option available from his country. So then he searched out for his country, and there were zero results. There was nothing available for his country, and his country was China. And that's where that person realized that we should do something. So what they did was they created a single one-page, very basic information page. And then they uploaded it. So they uploaded it somewhere around 9 o'clock in the morning. And by 12 in the noon, they have already received more than 5 emails from different individuals around the world who are interested to do business or who were interested to collaborate with them. And that's where this person, who was Jack Ma, got the inspiration and realized the power of digital, and which led to the development of one of the largest platform, Alibaba, which we all are aware. So that's where that was a very nascent stage, but I'm sharing this information with you because this is how people who have realized or who have understood the power of digital and they have utilized it in the proper way, how much they had been able to scale their business. At the same time, I would also want to share with you stories of businesses who failed because they did not digitize themselves. And the top of the list is Toys R Us. I hope every one of us have heard their name. So it was a very, very popular toys chain stores. And they started in 1948. And in somewhere in 2000, they got into a contract with one of the marketplaces where they'll be selling their products. But that marketplace continued to sell other toys as well, and that's where they got into a litigation, etc. But that's where they lost the digital opportunity and they lost the e-commerce opportunity, and they were not able to catch up ever again, and they filed for bankruptcy in 2017. The next one is also a very popular name, Blockbuster. It was one of the very popular chain of video records where you can go and you can buy video records or you can hire video records. And again, they failed to digitize themselves or adopt to the digital method. And Netflix finally was able to overcome that business entirely, and they were forced to shut down. Next is Borders, which is a stationery or a books chain, and that again was taken over by a digital platform. We are all very aware of that. What that platform it is Amazon that took over that. Then we have Tower Records, which is a business which used to sell records, music records or music cassettes, CDs, DVDs, etc. And that's where again with the advent of digital retail of music, the business went out of, or they went out of business. And then a similar example is Disc Terra, that again was taken out of business because of the digital retail of music. Now, these are all huge organizations if you look at it, and no one would have believed that just not digitizing or not adopting the right type of digital technology will make them bankrupt. No one have imagined, right? And we have these 5 examples here, and they all were taken out because they did not adopt it, or they did not innovate it, they did not adopted the right business method, or how the consumer buying behavior, everything was changing. They did not adopt it. And especially both Toys R Us and Blockbuster, both of them are clearly taken out by not adopting digital or not adopting online sales of their products. Right? There are other examples as well which failed because of innovation. The biggest name is Kodak, very popular name as well. And can you believe they actually invented digital camera, and the digital camera itself took them out of business? And then you have General Motors, again, in the similar fashion, did not evolve. JCPenney, again, is an example that did not adopt it digital, and that's where they were slow, and they were out of business. BlackBerry did not, and these are BlackBerry phones, not the garment chain. So again, they failed to adopt, and they were like pioneers at one point in time. Every business executive's dream was to have a BlackBerry. When I started my career, it was kind of the phone that I wanted to have, and today we know the story, right? In last 6 years, again, did not adopt it to digital, and they were finally shut off. So these are few of the examples or few of the cases that now, why am I sharing these with you? Because to emphasize the fact that it is not necessary only for large organizations. And here are so many examples where humongous size organizations who did not adopt it to technology, who did not evolve themselves, what has happened to them. So that's where it is extremely important for every business, irrespective of your size or domain, to adopt digital, to adopt technology, or simply put, to simplify your customers' engagement with you. So whatever ways they are engaging with you, whatever ways they're finding you, they're buying with you, they're ordering with you, you have to simplify, you have to make it as easy as possible so that you keep getting those orders, you keep getting those leads. That's the objective. And that's where digital and technology helps you make that process a lot simpler and lots easier. Now, let's understand this little more practically. And here we'll take an example. So there's this organization called Majestic Enterprises, and they are into manufacturing of electric motors and motor components. They are based out of Delhi, and they typically receive 15 to 20 orders on an average, sometime less, sometime more. Now, if they have to increase this to 100 orders per month, how can they do that? Let's first understand the non-digital interventions or non-digital initiatives that they can take. So the first one is participate in events and exhibitions. Definitely do that. And a lot of B2B businesses do that. So whenever there is a trade event or exhibition, you go there, you participate in that, and that's where you are able to generate leads and order. And it would cost like 1 lakh to 5 lakhs or even more, depending on the event that you're participating. Appoint on-ground sales team. That's where it would involve a salary of 30 to 50K per month. Appoint ordering agent. You have to give them commission, join trade associations, and then network through them. Again, you'll have to pay a joining fee to the association and then publish ad in relevant magazines. So that's where if there's a relevant publication which is related to your industry, so in that case, publishing ad in that. So that where, again, 20, 30,000 to few lakh of rupees that would cost. Now, let's understand what are the digital interventions that this business can take and what would be the cost. So firstly is creating a digital catalog, and no fee. So if you want to do it yourself, obviously there's no fee. And depending on how complex and how elaborate your system you want it to be, so it can go up to 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs of rupees, depending on how complex you it. But you can do it without spending a penny as well. You can do it DIY. There are solutions available. In fact, Globallinker solution is available DIY, FOC, which you can utilize. Then search and display advertising. Now, this is where short I've attempted to hit this score, that is 100 orders, and I've assumed a 2% conversion rate and 20 rupees per click, assuming this is a B2B industry. So that's where it is not very competitive. So that's where if you spend about 1L, and you'll be able to get that many number of orders. And if you are able to reduce the per click cost, obviously you'll be able to do that in 30,000 or 40,000 or 50,000, depending on how much you are able to reduce the cost and how much you're able to improve the conversion rates based on the experience. But this is where short you'll be able to achieve 100 orders very easily by running advertisement. And that is, again, only 2 types of advertisement. I'm not touching upon the social media advertisement because that is typically not the space where B2B, if you want, you can do that. But most of the businesses will find their customers on search or display ads. In display, again, these are different websites which are related to your industry where your buyers will be going. That's where you can run display ads leveraging networking platform. Again, basic features are available free of cost. You don't have to invest anything. If you want to take the paid subscription, obviously you can go ahead and you can do that registration onto directly listing websites. So again, it varies from which directory listing websites you are listing on. So from zero cost to 1 lakh or few lakhs rupees, it again varies from platform to platform. Emailers and newsletters. So if you have a base of buyers, or if you have acquired a list of buyers, you can send them emailers and newsletters. And that's where, again, if your base is smaller, obviously you'll be able to do it free of cost. There are free solutions also available. And then if you have a larger base to which you would want to send then up to 5,000, you should be able to do that. Now here you can see there is kind of a apple to apple comparison. You have non-digital interventions and you have digital interventions, and that's where you can compare not only in terms of costing but in terms of effectiveness as well. You are very easily able to achieve this target, and obviously you'll be able to expand to new geographies. Your business will be available 24/7, and all those benefits will also come to your business. So that is why it is extremely important for any business to digitize. Right. Let's quickly move on to the next topic, and that is again very interesting. That is digital catalog versus informative website. Again, a very common question that why should one have a digital catalog? What are the benefits? So let's first understand about the informative website. So if you're creating, or if you already have an informative website, you'll have 5 to 15 pages, or if some websites may have slightly more number of pages, but typically this kind of pages you'll have information about your business, you'll have information about the products and services, you'll have options to send contact us message or inquiry, and then you'll have options to display client testimonials, right? So that is what you can get with an informative website. Now, with a digital catalog, let's understand what all you'll get. So here, firstly, number of pages, there is no limit to it. So unlimited number of pages in digital catalog. It will definitely have information about your business, because the credibility or the trust is the key. Then it will have detailed information about your products and services. And that's where, because digital catalogs or online stores or e-commerce websites have a pattern or a structure that they use to display information, and that's why you are able to display information in a much structured manner. So for example, if we look at the information structure, so you'll be able to show the name or name of product or service. You'll be able to show variant detail if there are different variations of the products available. And then summary text, and that's where again you'll have flexibility to showcase text, images, or videos. And additional information, again, you have ability to show text, image, or video. In addition to that, you can add customer reviews for each product, not only just a client testimonial about how good their experience had been dealing with you. You'll be able to add it for each product or service that you're offering. Then you can receive orders. That is up to you. In B2B space, a lot of businesses shy away from this option, but not all of them. Many businesses also receive orders for their bulk products or B2B products. So obviously you get that flexibility. You can receive orders, you can receive inquiries, or you can receive both of them. So you can give both the options. So if you are interested to buy it, you can buy it. Or if you're interested to connect with us offline, you want to send us an inquiry, you can also do that. That option is also available on a digital catalog. And then except small orders, bulk orders, or both, that option is also available. So if you are not interested to receive small orders, you can literally put a restriction there. But if you're interested to cater to smaller customers and bulk order customers, or both of them, you can do that very easily. Then you have display price in international currency. So this is where one of the change or challenge, and I'll explain about this particular change because there's a research that has happened last year, and that's where this finding has come. So a lot of international buyers especially have started looking for information, not only just in terms of what that product or service is. They want to understand about the other details as well, and especially the commercials. And that's where digital catalog gives you that capability to display the products in the currency that the international buyer is looking at. So, for example, if someone is looking at your products from US, they'll be seeing the prices in USD, and that's where they're easily able to relate to it, and they're easily able to make a decision that it is a nice product and I should place an order or send them an inquiry. Right. The next one is offer special discount to regular bulk buyer. What does that mean? So many businesses and anyone in the audience, if you have, and I'm guessing many of you would have regular buyers will be buying with you on a regular basis, and there's some special discount that you will be offering to them because they are buying in bulk, so 5%, 10%, etc. Now, to get orders from them, that there is some kind of a mechanism that you follow. So one of your colleagues connects with them and gets the order, or they kind of dictate that order over the phone, or they write it on a piece of paper and click the photo and send it to you. Or if they're slightly more tech savvy, they'll be emailing it to you. But whatever ways, those kind of processes happen. But with a digital catalog, what you can do is you can digitize that process. You can entirely automate that process. How so? So your B2B buyer, you'll be able to give them a secure login. They can log in, and then they can see your products, and they are able to avail of the special discount that you're giving to them, and they'll be able to place an order whenever they want and at whatever time they want. They are not dependent on your salesperson's availability, your availability, or how your individual or how your colleague is deciphering the information that they have provided. So it will work entirely autonomously. So that option is available, and especially for the businesses, and most B2B businesses have these kinds of regular buyers who will be buying from you. So you can entirely simplify that process with these kinds of capability. Run special offers for your bulk buyers. So if you want to run special campaigns that you'll be buying in bulk, but if you're buying more quantity, I'll give you more discount. That is also possible. So you already have, let's say, I'm your bulk buyer and you have an arrangement with me that Adnan, whenever you'll be buying, I'll give you 10% discount. But we can run a offer that within September, we are running a special offer. Adnan, if you buy, let's say minimum you had to buy 20 units. If you buy 30 units, I'll give you 15% discount. So those kinds of offers can also be run on your digital catalog, which is not possible on a informative website. That's where you are just providing who I am, this is what I do, and add your information here to connect with me. Inquiry for bulk corporate orders, that is again something which is kind of common for B2B businesses, where corporate businesses, when they are looking to buy something and they might be sending you request or inquiry. That can also be done very systematically. So they can select the products that they are interested to buy from you, and then they can send you an inquiry that these are the products that we are interested to buy, and please quote the best price. Client testimonials, obviously you can add. Now these are two different type of testimonial. One is a review which can be added for each product or service, and then you can have testimonials about how the experience has been and who are your premium clients, etc. Data analytics and tracking. So that is the biggest advantage that you get. So you get very good insights. So in terms of customer behavior, so for example, you have, let's say, 10 products or services on your digital catalog. Now, how your customers are navigating, how much time they are investing on each service or product, and what is the demographic from which region most of your customers are coming, and what is the purchase pattern, which all products are getting ordered, in which season they are getting ordered, and what is the purchase interval. All those information will be available with you at your fingertips, which you can analyze, and you can do better production planning, better sales planning, and obviously better marketing planning as well. So these are 10 bullet points that I've jotted down. Obviously, this list is endless, but these are the broader advantages or benefits that you get if you create a digital catalog. All right. So this a very layman comparison if you have to do. So if you are looking at an informative website that is like a micro pickup truck, and if you're looking at a digital catalog that is a 18-wheeler SME truck, so plus 18-wheeler large truck, so it will be able to not only hold a lot of information but obviously serve you with greater flexibility. I'll be explaining more details here in the next slide. And this is where practically that you have decided, let's create a digital catalog. So obvious question that will be coming to your mind is what are the benefits? What are the benefits? Why should I do it? So this is where firstly provide modern buyer with the information they need. And this is where I would explain about that study I was quoting when we were discussing the last slide. So there was a study which was done by McKinsey, and that's where they found out what had been the impact of COVID over the B2B purchases. So what they found out was already about 50% of the B2B transactions are happening digitally. So that change has already happened. Now, another interesting thing that they found out was a majority, almost 50% of the B2B buyers are interested in a self-service kind of an environment. So they are not kind of sending you an inquiry and then waiting for you to send a quotation, not that kind. They want to see everything and add to cart and then send you a requirement or send you an inquiry that these are the products that we are interested to buy, share your payment terms, etc. So those kind of experiences that these B2B buyers are interested in. So that was found out. Another very interesting thing that the same study predicted was as the older generation is getting retired and newer generation is getting old, getting over or taking over. So the B2B buyers are also getting changed. So the newer generation which is taking over is millennials. And as you might be aware, anything that is not existing digitally does not exist for them. Or if I put it together, if you don't have a digital existence, you don't exist for them. So by 2025, which is not very far from here, almost 75% of B2B buyers will be digital-centric millennials. And if you're not digitized by then, you know what will happen. I don't have to restate that. We have already seen that in the first slide, what had happened if digitization is not done rightly and at the right time. The next advantage that you'll get is deeper and better insights into customer behavior. So not only in terms of what products or services are getting bought, but how customers are experiencing your website, right? So which pages are getting the maximum view, how much time they are spending on each page. So those kinds of information will be available with you, which you can utilize. What is the buying pattern? What is how much traffic is coming to your website? What is the order frequency? All that information will be available with you at your fingertips, which you can utilize to make smarter and intelligent business decisions. Better data structure. So this is where I'll just explain this little technically, but if we have to again understand it in a very simpler term. So all digital catalogs or e-commerce website or online store, whatever term you want to give to them, they are designed and built for one specific purpose, one specific goal. That is to cater to millions of customers at the same time. So the data structure or the core structure is built to handle load. It is built to handle traffic. It is built to display information in a certain way, which loads up very fast and it is displayed in a very presentable manner. So all those advantages come to you. So as it has a better data structure, so it leads to better search engine optimization as well. And it also leads to better load speed and better user experience. then it will provide more and better quality information about your products and services to your customers. And that's where in the previous slide, I explained that your text is not the limit. You can add images, you can add videos, and you can provide much richer information to your customers, along with customer reviews, cater to a wider spectrum of customers, B2C, B2B, and corporate. So using the single digital catalog, you'll be able to cater to a wider spectrum, not only just to your B2B buyers, but to B2C customers as well, and even to corporate customers or corporates who would want to buy in bulk from you. Simplify a regular buying, bulk buying ordering process. So this is where I had explained this earlier as well. So if you have regular buyers, regular bulk buyers who are buying from you, and you are offering them certain credit, you are offering them certain discount, and there is a certain minimum order quantity that you have agreed with them, all that can be taken care by the system, by your digital catalog, and you can digitize that ordering process as well. So that's where your sales team, which is currently focused on getting orders from these regular buyers, now they can start focusing on expanding territory, acquiring more clients, and that process obviously can be done digitally, and your customers can also adopt to it very happily, because it is very seamless, very easy to do, and they don't have to wait for you, or they are not dependent on you. Whenever they want, whenever they have requirement, they can easily send you a request or place an order. Run targeted promotions for B2B, B2C audience, and this is where I'm not referring to the advertising part of it, even promotion. So in the last slide, I mentioned that if I am your regular bulk buyer, and that's where you had been giving me a 10% discount. Now you want to offer me 15%, provided that I buy additional quantity. Now, those kind of campaigns can be run, and you can rent them separately for your B2C customers and B2B. If you are not interested in B2B, just ignore that. You can do that for your B2B customers as well. So it is not like plain and dry that come to our website, select the products that you want to buy, and that's the end of it. You can make it, you can kind of incentivize, you can motivate your regular buyers as well. Come to our website, and if you place orders from there, you'll avail something, you'll avail a special offer from our side. And that's where, if you have slow moving products or dead stock that you would want to liquidate, you can also do that with these kinds of promotional campaigns. Ease of sharing and generating leads. So this is where, again, let's try to imagine a scenario. So just imagine that you are a B2B business owner, and you are visiting an exhibition, and I happen to be a international buyer. So you met me, we exchange our information, and I'm interested to understand about your business. So that's where you can either have your website URL as part of your visiting card, or you can get a QR code printed for your website and share it with me. I'll scan that QR code, or I'll open your website. That's where you can show me that this is our website. This is where you can review our catalog, and if you are interested, or you can select the products, and you can send us a lead. Or another version of it is that you are a garment, apparel and garment manufacturer. In one of the apprehension that people have in the fashion space is that my designs or my styles might get copied. So you just want to show them to your genuine buyers, and you met me at an exhibition, and you found me to be a genuine buyer, and now you wanted to showcase your products. So what you'll do is you'll take my details, enter them into the backend, which will just take 2 minutes. Once you have entered, I'll get a SMS that you have added me as a trade partner onto your website with a link. I can log in with an OTP verification, and that's where I can see your exclusive catalog, which is only available for your trade partners, and you have already offered. So you can tell me, Adnan, hey, I've added you as a trade partner. You can go to our website. You may have already received a message. Do a OTP verification. I've already given a special discount to you. So select the products, and you'll be able to place an order directly from there. So that's how you will be. And I'm just quoting orders. It can be leads as well. So you can, as a international buyer or as a B2B buyer, I can select those products, and I can send a lead as well, an inquiry as well, not essentially an order. right? So that's how adopting digital and leveraging it, you can simplify a lot of things, not only for yourself, but for your buyers as well. Now, moving on to how to create a digital catalog, and that's where as I mentioned earlier, I'll not be getting very technical because a lot of time it becomes very boring for the members and a lot of people just go to sleep. So I'll just be explaining it in 5 bullet points. And if you are stuck somewhere, because this is a very easy and simple process, you'll be able to do it yourself. Thousands of businesses, more than 20,000 businesses have already done that. Trust me. So you'll be able to do that very easily. But at any stage, if you get stuck, so in the chat, I've already shared the link of that WhatsApp group that we have created exclusively for you. So you can join that group. And if you have a question, if you have a query, post it there, and me and my team will answer those questions and queries. All right, so what is the first step to create a digital catalog? The first step is to create an account on Globallinker. And for that, you have to visit globallinker.com and then sign up. It is a very simple 5-step process that you have to follow. And then you will be able to create your digital catalog. Once you have created your digital catalog, then you can set up your online store. That's where, again, in the top navigation, you'll see online store. Click on that and then follow the steps. You'll be able to set up your online store in about 10 to 15 minutes. After that, you have to upload your products and services, add as much as information as possible, and over the period, try to make it as richer as possible. So upload products and services. And after that, add business related content. So a lot of time when people are creating digital catalog, they kind of get very myopic. They kind of get blindsided and they become very focused on the products itself. Obviously, product is the core. Product is the reason why a buyer is coming to your website and they are sending you a lead, inquiry, or an order, right? But trust is equally important, or trust is more important. If the person is not trusting you, they'll not order you, they'll not send you an inquiry, right? So that's where adding your business information, your business credentials, that what is your business, who you are, what is your history, what all you have done, who are your client, their testimonials, etc., etc. That information is also crucial and critical. So add that as step number 4. And then connect and invite. So connect is connect with Google Analytics, Tag Manager, Search Console, and if you're running ads on, or if you plan to run ads on Facebook, Instagram as well, so connect them as well. But 2 properties, that is Google Analytics and Search Consoles, are extremely important, especially Analytics, because a lot of times businesses or business owners come to me and they say, hey, we had been running our website for over a year and we have just received few orders. So I say, fair enough. How much traffic do you receive every month? And or how much is your bounce rate? And how much is the average time spent? They don't have a clue because they haven't integrated Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is basically a tool by Google. It's a free tool which you can create using a Gmail ID, but it will give you insights into how much traffic is coming to your website, from where they are coming. So for example, you are an exporter. You don't want people from India to visit your website. They are not your audience. You want people from US, Europe, or Australia to visit your website. So that's where you can understand from where their audience is coming. And if you're running a dedicated US specific ad, so you can understand how exactly they are working, whether they are working appropriately or not. So all those insights will start coming to you, and that's where you can keep improving onto that, so that the quality of traffic or the quality of visitors that are coming to your website, if you are able to improve that, obviously automatically the volume of orders and inquiries will increase and conversions will also increase, right? In the same step, that is step number 5, I've also added one more very crucial step, and that gets also overlooked. That is inviting your existing business B2B buyers or your existing trade partners, right? You have created a digital property. You have tried to simplify things, but why are you only doing it for your future customers? Why are you not doing it for your existing customer? Why are you not simplifying the lives or of your existing customers? If you tell them, hey, you can come to our online store, you can find our digital catalog and also give you a special discount if you're doing that. they'll come and they'll definitely order from it. Everyone wants to save time, everyone wants to save effort, and everyone wants convenience. So you should extend this opportunity to your existing trade partners, existing buyers, and obviously the future is what you're looking at, new buyers, attracting them to your digital catalog and growing your business digitally. So that is definitely the objective, but don't overlook whatever existing audience that you have. Also bring them to the digital platform. So that is how you'll be able to create your digital catalog. 5 simple, easy steps. And in case you are getting worried that he'll change the slide and will miss out on the information, don't worry. We'll share the recording of this webinar with everyone who has registered on Globallinker. And in addition to that, I will be linking a copy of this presentation in the recording in the description of the recording. So if you want to download this presentation, you'll be able to do that as well. All right, let's move on to the next topic, that is how to blend human and digital experience. And this is, again, an additional topic that we have introduced, and that is the specific purpose of introducing this topic was to, again, prevent businesses or advise you to avoid that myopic vision that a lot of businesses start having. So let's understand it in bits and pieces. Otherwise, it might sound very overwhelming. So what is a human experience? So human experience is basically how a customer is engaging or interacting with you physically. So just imagine I'm an international buyer, or I'm a buyer, B2B buyer, and I come across your business. So how I'll be interacting with you? So I came across your business. You are into electric motors and component manufacturing, and I'm interested to get buy a certain type of motors for my business. So that's where how the interaction will happen. How will you introduce your business? How will you send the proposals, and how will the commercial negotiations will happen? So those kinds of experience is the human experience. So if the person is interacting physically with you, so how is that interaction happening? That is the human experience. So example, visiting a Apple showroom or visiting a Royal Enfield showroom, the experience that you get. Right? What is a digital experience? So the experience that a customer gets when they are interacting with you digitally. So they are not interacting with you physically, but using the digital properties that you have, whether you have a website or an app or etc., etc. So how are they interacting with you, and how are they understanding of the products and services that you're offering? That is called the digital experience. Now, how to blend human and digital experience? So to try to give a similar experience to your customer digitally as they would have received if they had been interacting with you physically. So in terms of a buyer's journey. So a lot of time when you're conceiving, when you're thinking of about your website, you become very focused on the products or services, and that kind of becomes your originating point, whereas you should think from a buyer's or customer's experience. So what I intend to say is that you should also focus on how your buyer will be interacting with your digital catalog. So the terminologies that you're setting up, the navigations that you're setting up, the information that you're adding, all should be in line that if the buyer is interacting digitally, they should get a similar kind of experience that they would get if they had been interacting with us physically. And again, try to make it more efficient as well, but try to think it from that perspective, right? And there's a very interesting report that I found. It is in Accenture's report, and I'll just read it out loud for everyone's reference. So what is mentioned, and it is the 2018 report, is that we don't live in anymore in a world where physical and digital are two parallel universes. It is all combined today. Digital has been dramatically effective on how we consume, how we find things, how we connect as individuals, how we have learned about things, how we go about our day-to-day work, how we educate ourselves, and so on. many organizations have become myopic on their digital effort, and end results had been fragmented. The customer experience, the look and feel from the physical brand experience or the physical experience end up being quite different when you are interacting digitally. So that is uh, about blending digital and physical experiences. Again, in very simple terms, when you are conceiving your website, when you are building your digital catalog, think from your buyer's perspective, think from your buyer's journey, and everything that you have on your digital catalog should be focused entirely on one specific goal. That is how easily and efficiently your buyer can find the right product or service, and they can connect with you in form of an inquiry or an order, right? So that is how to blend human and digital experience. Now coming to bonus tips, this is where firstly, a lot of B2B businesses that I have experienced in my experience of more than 1.5 decade in digital space, why do they fail or struggle to grow digitally? And this is where I'll be sharing certain points, and they are in form of questions, but again, I'll explain them. What is the logic? So the first question that I would want to ask everyone who has designed your house or office, and I'm also speaking on your behalf. So obviously, it was designed by an architect, but you had a significant role in the design. So architect drew it up, and then you shared your suggestion that your study room should be here, your lounge should be here, your drawing room should be here, your kitchen orientation, vastu, etc., etc. You played a significant role. But when you are creating your digital office, your digital asset, which will help you grow digitally, why are you relying entirely on the agency? And the mistake that a lot of businesses do is they rely entirely on the agency. They say, you're the expert, you know it better, create a website for me. आप कर लो, आप तो एक्सपर्ट हो, आप जानते हो, आप बना दो, आप डाल दो सारी जानकारी. You shouldn't do that. It is your business which is at stake, right? So you should get actively involved, understand. Obviously, you are not an expert, so you'll not be able to create a website, but these days you can do that DIY as well. But at least in terms of how it is going about, what is the schematic, what is the blueprint, how different properties will be placed, how will the buyer journey will be, get involved into it. Don't get into that practice of you're an expert, do as you like. The second question that I would want to ask is who drafts your business proposal? So if you have a buyer lead, then who drafts? Either, again, speaking for you, either yourself or one of your colleague, right? Then why are you asking a agency to draft the content which is going to be there on your website, right? Now, I'll tell you what happens. You tell an agency that डाल दो जो भी आपको अच्छा लगे डाल दो. So what the agency, and for non-Hindi speaking audience, what it meant was a lot of businesses when they are interacting with a agency that is building their website, instead of providing the content, they say, find something that is relevant to our business, or write something that is relevant for our business, and just put it onto our website. So, which is not right. Why so? Firstly, it is not your business. So obviously, the person, the agency will not do justice to the extent that you'll be able to do yourself. Second is what many agencies do, and that is kind of suicidal on your part, is that they'll just do a internal research and they'll copy paste certain things from here and there, put it together and add it to your website. You're happy, very nice content, great job done. But you're not realizing that entire content is plagiarized, and search engines can detect that and they will downrank your website. So you have kind of shot yourself in the head by doing that. So not do that. Create that content, even if it takes you some time, but do that. And again, there are a lot of platforms which are available, which I'll be sharing with you in the next slide, which you can use to write that content and create genuine, original content that you should put onto your website. The third is who reviews your sales performance and growth. So this is where what I'm intending to say is that when your physical team is going and reviewing, getting orders, and you have your sales performance review and how your revenues and profits are growing, you do it yourself. But when it comes to your website, why are you entirely dependent on the agency? Why are you not actively looking at the numbers, how much traffic is coming, how they're interacting, how much time they're spending, what is the bounce rate, how can I reduce the bounce rate, what are the demographics that are there, or what is the demographic of the audience that are getting converted? So what are those sweet spots? All that. Why are you not getting involved into it? You should. Your business depends on it. Your life of your business depends on it, right? Next is who makes business growth plans. Obviously, you makes business growth plans for your business, right? But then again, why are you dependent on the agency? Obviously, agency can provide finer inputs, but on a broader level, it is your business and you want to grow it, and digital is just one of the mediums which is available. And your strategy should be that I want to go achieve this target. Now tell me how it is possible. And obviously don't go by the word what other person is saying, because a lot of time I have seen that the people had been given very wrong and inappropriate suggestions and proposals. So that is why also do a little bit of research. We all are blessed to have internet and search engines, so we can easily research and very easily you can find out what are the important parameters or what are different tools, what are the pluses and minuses. Get involved into it and you'll be able to make your own business growth plan. And at this point, I just thought of sharing a very interesting story once again with you. And this story is of a very famous person, Elon Musk. And we all know him for Tesla and also for SpaceX, but that business is not that popular as compared to Tesla. So how SpaceX came into being, do you know? Because earlier when Elon was wanting to get into that space, so he made multiple trips to Russia to buy ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and then they wanted to tweak into them to be able to launch satellites into space. So that those deals didn't got through, and despite multiple trips and despite having money, he was not able to get those. So while coming back on one of the trips, he just did certain calculation and he got back to the team that we can make it cheaper. We can make it ourselves and we can make it cheaper as compared to what these Russians are offering to us. And how was he able to do that? Because all this while he had been reading, he had been educating himself about the space that he was wanting to get into. Now, similarly, you want your business to grow digitally, and we are all aware, and almost everyone will agree that digital is the future. That's how you have to grow. So why not educate ourselves and make ourselves at least well versed with the basics, so that we can understand where it is heading and we don't get misguided. Right. Next is who does future planning and forecasting. Obviously, you do it, and that's where again get involved into it. Create the broader level plan yourself, and then on the execution part, you can definitely depend on the agency to that, and then again understand what are the milestones which are there, how they are achieving, where they are heading. Regular review should be there. So get involved onto that. So these are the broad 5 issues that I have noticed which affect B2B businesses in growing digitally. So to sum it all, get involved as if your life depends on it. So unless you are getting involved into it to that extent, you'll not be able to pull it through. Right. I also mentioned that I'll be sharing certain tools which you can utilize. So first tool which is related to content creation, and that is again a very common question that a lot of business people ask me. is that we have to create content ourselves. And how can we do that? Is there a tool which is available? So here are few of the AI tools. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but you can use them to definitely generate content. So this is and for the audience who are not understanding what AI means. So this is where, for example, you're using writer. So you can specify I'm writing product description and what this product is. You have to just specify that, and it will generate a product description for you. Then you have performance. So if you have to check how efficient your digital catalog is, you can have it beautiful looking digital catalog, but if it is taking an eternity to load up on a mobile or desktop, no one is going to order from your website, right? So that's where you need to evaluate the performance, how fast or slow is your website. So that's where these are the tools which you can use. Again, hyperlinks are also provided in the presentation, so you can use these tools. And then you have research. So if you have to do a keyword research, what you can do, so that's where you have Google Keyword Planner, Google autocomplete. So autocomplete is basically you start searching for something on Google, and that's where certain suggestions come in. Those are Google autocomplete, answer the public, solve, or keyword cheater. For review, you have Google Analytics, you have Google Search Console. Tag Manager is not a review tool, but it helps you get the required information which is used by Search Console or Google Analytics. Or if you're running Google Ads, then also you'll need Tag Manager for conversion tracking. All right, so that will be all. Now we will break into the question answer round. But before I do that, I'll just quickly share my contact details. Already I have done that. So this is these are my contact details. The QR code that you're seeing, if you scan that, it will help you add my contact details. But I've already chatted them, so that's where I'll just turn off the screen share, and we'll quickly get started with our question answer round.
That was an amazing session, Adnan. Thank you so much for sharing such wonderful insights with all our members today. We did see a couple of questions during while you were talking, but let me go ahead and ask them to you. So there is Mr. Mudasir Ali who wants to know, how do we generate more distributors through digital mediums?
Hi, Mudassir. Thanks for asking this question. Now, this is slightly ahead of what I had explained in today's session, but I'll try to answer your question very quickly. So once you have your digital catalog ready, what you can do is that's where you start the activity of reach out. Now, that reach out can happen in form of your digital ads. So that's where you can identify the search terms which all these distributors, etc., will be using, and that's where you can run specific ads, and you can run them based on the geography where you need to appoint. For example, you want to appoint a distributor in Uttarakhand, so that's where you can run ads only in Uttarakhand. So all the people who are searching by a particular term or phrase, they'll see that ad and they'll be able to connect with you. So that's one option. The second option, which is more easier for you to do, is log into your Globallinker account, and that's where you go to find connections section. And that's where you just specify the industry from which you are wanting to onboard distributors, and that's where you can connect with them. So you'll have to send a connection request, and once they accept the connection request, you can connect with them, interact, share about your business, and once you have got into that agreement in terms of commercials, etc., that's where you can onboard them to your digital catalog, and they can start ordering to you digitally.
Absolutely. So Adnan, moving to the next question fairly quickly, Mr. Vivekar wants to know, how do you really see, how do you get buyers to my products? I've already uploaded some of my products, which my main line of business is in. So how do I ensure that people are seeing my products?
Right. So that's where in the bonus slide when I was talking, so I mentioned that creating a website is not end. So just creating a website, you'll not get traffic, you'll not get leads, you'll not get inquiries. You have to ensure that it is getting displayed at the appropriate places, whether it is search engine or these networking platforms or on relevant websites where your buyers are. So only then your traffic will start happening. So one of the things that you should, I'll recommend that you should do is use Google Analytics to understand how much traffic is coming to your website and from where it is originating. So we'll be able to understand that and how much is the bounce rate, etc. And it will also give you insight in terms of from where the traffic is coming. So whether it is coming from Google or any other website that you have mentioned about your business, etc. So how much traffic is coming from where it is coming. Now, at the same time, you have to also identify what are the places where I can find my buyers. So if just imagine that you are your own buyer, right? So how will you go about finding a distributor? So just imagine that you're not the seller, you are a buyer, and think from a buyer's perspective. If you are a buyer and you want to buy this product or service, how will you go about it? What is the next step that you'll do? So once you have noted down that next step, now your activity or now your task is how can you ensure that your website gets displayed there. So for example, a lot of people when they are looking for something, they search on search engines like Google. How can you show your website there? So obviously reaching there through SEO will take time, but a quick way is to run search ads, right? Text ads. You can do that, and then you can start bringing traffic onto your website. And that is, again, once the traffic start coming, that's where again have to get into the phase 2 is to analyze and understand how good quality traffic is, because you can burn lakh of rupees easily in a month to bring a lot of traffic. But if that traffic is not relevant, you'll not. For example, you bring a Maruti customer to a BMW website, right? You'll not get orders there, right? So similarly, if it is the right audience that is coming to your website, bounce rate is a good indicator whether the traffic which is coming to your website is relevant or not. If the bounce rate is high, that means there's a mismatch, that the people are coming and they're bouncing off, they're going away immediately. So you have to work on those matrix to ensure that the right kind of people are coming to your website. The person who wants to buy a BMW is visiting a BMW website, and that's where the conversion will happen.
Definitely, very well answered, Adnan. Even our member today acknowledged the same, that he has understood what you said. Moving to the next question, not completely understanding this one, but I think Mr. Himanshu Jain wants to know, is there anybody who can be assigned to take care of my Globallinker website?
Hi, Manshu. Thanks for joining in. Yes, what we do is we provide assisted setup services, because many businesses, they're not comfortable with DIY, and many business owners don't have time or energy available to invest in creating the website. So we provide these assisted online store setup services. So if you are interested, I'll just quickly chat a WhatsApp link. So you can share your interest on that, and our team will be able to set up your online store for you. So this is again for everyone's reference. So because many of our members have this challenge that they don't have enough time to create their digital catalog, to create their online presence. So that's where we provide assisted setup services. And if you're interested, I've just chatted a link. You can use that link and you can send your inquiry.
Great. And this organization has already contacted us offline. So I just received the message. Sure. Thanks, Adnan, for that one. We have a next query that says, I have a large data of customers already existing, but when when I try to connect with customers, they don't respond effectively. Is there anything that you can suggest?
So if you have historical data, so that's where the challenge comes, is that they lose touch from you. So that's where one of very effective ways in which a lot of organizations stays in connect is not to approach them from a transaction point of view. So what I intend to say is that don't send them an email or, hey, we are running a sales campaign, and then come to our website and then place an order, but give them something that may be relevant for them. So for example, if you're an expert in industry, so there is a certain product that can help them. So you can do that. Or one of the example that I can quote from one of the members that I've seen off late. So they are into natural beauty product. Now, obviously, their customer base is of women and men who want to buy natural beauty products. Now, instead of approaching them, hey, we are running this campaign, or we are running this, or doing that, or this is the new product launch, what they did was they give them remedies, home remedies that they can use, and in form of an emailer. So they approach them with a solution. Hey, do you have dandruff? This is a home remedy that you can use. And we also have a product that can help you with that. And here's the link. And that's how they approached them. And they were able to, re-energize that relationship. They were able to re-energize that association again with those customers, and then bring them back active to start giving you orders and inquiries and start transacting with you.
Absolutely. Also, just adding to that, I think more than just putting out promotional content about what you do or what you deal in, it's important to build that trust and credibility by actually putting information out there. You could write articles even on Globallinker. You could share discussions, share inputs, or even share comments on what others are posting, so that you build that credibility in the minds of the viewers. So I hope that answers
Absolutely.
your question.
Absolutely.
Sure. So moving to the next one, Adnan. A member is asking which type of information mail or any conversation mail can be sent for communication. What is the best effectiveness in the mind of the consumer?
So that question will depend on who your customer is. So if it is a hardcore professional, so in that case, if you are sending them an emailer, so the probability of them responding to a standard organizational emailer is relatively low as compared to you are sending them an email from yourself. So for example, if I am a seller, so if I send an emailer from Globallinker as compared to Adnan sending them an email, will have a difference. So that's where for a professional B2B buyer space, personal or personal emails are working better as compared to a standardized emailer that you would send. But having said that, it does not mean that you can't send them in bulk. So you don't have to send 10 emails per day, or you don't have to get into that. You can also send personalized emails bulk as well. It is just that the way you are addressing the person is different. So instead of Globallinker has sent you an email, it will be Adnan has sent you an email, and then the content will again be conversational. Hey, this is my business and this is what I do, and that's where you can send that email. You can do that in bulk as well. And one of very interesting and powerful tool that a lot of businesses have started utilizing is to embed or to add videos to the emails. So that is another thing that you can utilize. That this is a small video about what we are doing, and the person can click on it and they can review it. It can be a YouTube video as well. So you can include all that information.
So just moving on to probably the last question, since we're now running out of time as well. Mr. Adil says, can we have a chat bot on Globallinker?
Yeah, absolutely. You can have chatbot. A lot of our members use Facebook Messenger as chatbot because it is more convenient for them to manage as well as for the customers to interact with them. So that is already very actively being used by our members. But in addition to that, if you want to integrate any other chatbot, that can also be integrated.
Okay, so I think there are no further questions as well. Thank you so much, Adnan, for sharing all these tips, tricks, insights to all our members and participants today. I can see a lot of thank you messages coming in. So thank you, members, for joining, and we hope that you did benefit from this session. And Adnan has put in his contact details. Please feel free to send us any queries post the session as well, and we'll be happy to attend to you.
Absolutely. And I've again shared my contact details, and I've also shared the link of a WhatsApp group that we have created. So please do join that WhatsApp group because that's where me and my team are available to answer all your questions and queries. All right. All the best. Malvika has also shared her contact details, so you can feel free to connect either with me or Malvika as you like.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time and participating in this session. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Bye-bye for now, and looking forward to connecting again in the next